Hello, guys and girls, and welcome to my Guardian Aura color. Yes, this is him here. What I've decided to do is I've decided to have my starter be a nice shiny Auramancer that has a whole bunch of auras and is able to carry a team. As you can see, I do have space for a couple more auras still. I don't have my Alpha's Howl yet. So the reason I'm showcasing this character is because I stuffed up on a lot of uh, things that I did. There were a lot of things that shouldn't be done when building a character like this, and I'd like to go through them so that other people don't make the same mistake I did. First and foremost, don't try to level as a support character. It's really, really difficult. You're just gimping your the people that you're leveling with, because there's not really much you can do in the early game, and there's not much you can do without a Prism Guardian. There's not much you can do without an Alpha's Howl, and there's not much you can do without a Shavs or a Solaris Lorica. And that's kind of important, because you will die to chaos damage really, really easily.
Shit. Oh, that's fine.
No, I was just degenning. I was just degenning, and then the next thing that I look, I've got no HP. Not from the burn damage, from the chaos damage aura, which is not even affecting. So when you are leveling, level as anything. You can level as a melee character. You can level as an elemental character. The Templar starts off near a whole bunch of elemental damage nodes that you can just pick up literally anywhere on this tree. You've got spell damage and mana regen, so you can even go for cast speed and go for an SRS build if you want to go something a little bit more magic find oriented, and the tree is very similar, so it'll be fine. I decided to level with totems. I don't think that was the best case, but it definitely is possible. In terms of my items, this character is a lot more expensive than I thought he'd be. I've got a Piscator's purely because I can remove some of these auras and I can add Wrath and Anger and deal a whole bunch of elemental damage. And with Kinetic Blast, it is possible to run it as a solo build. It's just not very strong at all. Prism Guardian is necessary. If you're reserving any form of life, a Solaris Lorica is necessary. Ore Seas are best in slot for increased rarity of items. I've got an Ayacheola, which helps a lot with getting stunned, plus it has 30% increased rarity. 20% reduced maximum life is kind of meaningless, seeing as you're relying off of your energy shield, which is really low. Of course, the best upgrades here would be a Shavs. I need to get an Alpha's Howl for my headpiece, or at least something with better energy shield. I need something with a lot better energy shield for my boots. So there's definitely a lot of upgrades. I've got an Orxium only because I bought it for cheap. I think it's best in slot for energy shield, which is what your belt is going to try and take up. Energy shield and resistances is really what you need on your belt. You don't need any life or anything else on there. Of course, reserving life does help with your armor. But even at this stage, see, my armor's 4,909, which is actually pretty huge. What I can do is I can drop the determination for the grace, which is almost always better to do because it brings up your evasion rating to exactly the same that your armor was, but it keeps your armor quite high thanks to the Radiant Faith here. It also does give you energy shield, so the problem is that you can't rely on your ascendancy. You do need to rely on your items, and it does start getting quite expensive. So the way I've done it is I've just reserved my 3 purities on my life. What I can do is I can throw Blood Magic and Clarity on there and put Discipline on there, which means that if I were to drop Discipline here, what I could do is I could reserve 1, 2, and if I take off Clarity as well, I could reserve 3 60% auras, and then also have Discipline and Clarity taking up the rest of my life nodes, which means that I could have even more auras, which I'm not doing at the moment because I haven't set it up so that I do it. Otherwise, I'd put it on my chest piece. That's definitely where I'd put it. 5 link just isn't necessary. You don't need any links for anything. That's one of the cheaper parts of the build. It's why I thought the build would be cheap. Ore Seas, of course, are cheap. Piscators are cheap. Orxium's quite expensive, but I got that for cheap. The obvious upgrade would be a Shavs. And that brings me to my next point. I'm currently level 75. You do not want to be doing this at level 75. You want to be a lot later on in the game. You want to be you want to be up towards level 80 plus, 85 plus. So what you want to do is you want to level as anything else until you get to that stage of the game. And then once you get to that stage of the game, then you want to switch into this build. The other thing that I've really stuffed up on is I wanted to be a jack of all trades. The reason I'm running a wand is that I can generate power charges. I'm using Enduring Cry so that I can generate endurance charges. Don't be like me. Don't try and be a jack of all trades. Stick to one thing. If you want to be an Auramancer, run a whole bunch of auras, but gimp your damage. If you want to be a charge generator, don't. Be a Guardian and then get Harmony of Purpose. That's the way to do it. If you want to be a magic finder, be a magic finder, but be a magic finder that can actually do something. Be a Wind Ripper magic finder, be an SRS magic finder, because being a Guardian magic finder is kinda slow. I mean, it's definitely possible to do. You can be an Auramancer and a magic finder. You gimp your energy shield a ton, and that's really the problem with it. That's really where the problem comes in. So hopefully that's helped. That's a little bit of a guide for people who do want to run an Auramancer in the future. I'm probably giving up on this character in this build. I've got an SRS up. The SRS is doing great. I'm trying to make it into an Zeri farmer. So what I'll do is I'll bring you a couple of videos of that in the next week or so. Cool, guys. Thanks for watching.